Why do we love video games so much? Is it the gameplay? Is it the story? Is it the sense of accomplishment? I am positive that it is a mixture of all three of those things, especially gameplay, but there is an element that is often overlooked that I think is much more important than most people think, and that is music. And to be fair, music isn't really necessary. If you remove gameplay, it's not really a game anymore. If you remove graphics, you can't even see anything. But if you remove music, the game continues to be pretty much identical, unless it's a game where music is the central focus. But at least for me, the reason I think I love video games so much is because of the immersion. Games that allow me to feel like I'm a part of the world have always been my favorite. And there are a lot of different things that contribute to a game that give me that feeling. But I think a big one is music. I have always loved music, but I often find myself very disappointed with it. I don't like modern music at all. Classical music has always been one of my favorites, and then I also really enjoy a lot of movie scores. But a type of music that I've really only started listening to in the last few years that has quickly become my new favorite is video game soundtracks. And I think that's because of where it comes from, why it exists, and how it's supposed to make me feel. One of the reasons I dislike modern music so much is because it tries so hard to make you feel one specific way. But I'm not trying to convince you that other types of music are bad. I'm trying to convince you that video game music is the best. Because it comes from a game, it wasn't created to be just straight up music. It was created to be background noise, an accompaniment to the gameplay. You might think that it's going to be more quiet and out of the way, something that you don't really ever notice is there. And you would be wrong. You might also think because it serves almost the exact same purpose as a movie score that the two would be interchangeable. But you would be wrong yet again. Movie scores are made to emphasize the emotions that the characters on screen are experiencing. Video game soundtracks are made to emphasize the emotions that you are feeling. And that doesn't mean that you don't sometimes feel the same emotions that a character on TV or a movie might be feeling. In video games, the music serves a dual purpose, to underscore the emotions of the characters within the game's narrative, and to amplify the emotions of the player themselves. Unlike in movies or TV shows where the viewers are passive observers, in video games, we are active participants in the story. So while you might occasionally share the emotions of a character in a movie or TV show, in a video game, those emotions are often intertwined with your own. You're adding your own emotions to the music instead of just receiving whatever the movie wants you to feel with it. And that is the biggest reason why it is my favorite type of music. This relationship between us and the soundtrack is what sets video game music apart. It's not merely background noise, it's an integral part of the gameplay experience. Whether you're navigating a dungeon, engaging in battles, or exploring a vast open worlds, the music is there, allowing you to have some influence over what it makes you feel. So the next time that you're playing a game and you hear the soundtrack, remember that you're not just merely listening to it, you're actively shaping it with your emotions. And that to me is the true beauty of video game music. I'll give you an example. Super Mario Galaxy. I have played this game almost every year since I got it. It is my #1 favorite game of all time. And playing it as a kid, it absorbed me so much that I could forget that anything else existed. I was so immersed in this world with its story and its characters, the most I think I've ever been. But as I've gotten older, that feeling has worn off more and more, and that might be a result of playing it every single year. But something that has not worn off at all and has only gotten stronger is the music. Any soundtrack from this game still gives me these same feelings. There are a handful of different games that I feel that way about, but Mario Galaxy is the best example. And I think it is a little due to exactly what type of music most video games have. They do tend to lean more classical. And that's not to say that I dislike it when video game soundtracks become a little bit more upbeat. If anything, video games have helped me to appreciate a lot of different types of music. Some of my favorite songs now are types of songs that I didn't think I would ever enjoy. It just goes to show you how much power the interactiveness has over everything. Another reason why I think video game music is so good is because it's written to fit situations that really wouldn't occur in real life. Up until the existence of Super Mario, I doubt anybody was writing songs that would fit an Italian man jumping through the Mushroom Kingdom. Because the music is still written to fit the game, and because games have very strange scenarios sometimes when you really think about it, we've gotten some very, very unique sounding music over the years. And that could be true for movies and TV shows as well, I guess. But there are still obviously major differences. One of them is that for a long time, video games were very restricted in their music, and I think those hardware limits were technically a good thing. It forced people like Koji Kondo to be very creative with the music they wrote, and I think because of these limitations, it led to the music being as iconic as it is today. And that's not just about old 8-bit games, but games like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 as well. These games have very recognizable sound fonts and different styles that really makes them stand out. At this point, you're probably wondering how on earth you get emotions out of a game like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. There's not really any story involved in this game, and all you do is run and jump. And that is true, some games just don't connect with you as much as others do, but you're still having fun while you're playing this game, and that enjoyment will be reflected onto the music. I usually play these games multiplayer, and that fun that I have with other people is what gets put onto the music. Some pieces of music have become very famous because of the nostalgia. Take C418's Minecraft music, for example. Some of them have a very unique sound, but a lot of them aren't really any different from any somber piano piece. But because they're from a game that you probably have very fond memories playing, they have so much more of an impact on you than they would otherwise. So the next time you find yourself humming a tune from one of your favorite games, it's the soundtrack to your adventures, your cherished memories. And that's why I think video game music is simply the best. But if I still haven't convinced you that video game music is the best, I have one final argument. Video game music wins by default because it is a combination of every type of music out there. Like I said earlier, classical music was one of the first and only types of music that I really enjoyed, and since there are a lot of games out there that have very classical sounding music, like Mario Galaxy, so if I say I dislike video game music, I'm technically saying I dislike classical music. And that's true for any music genre technically, except for genres that video games invented like 8-bit and chiptune, but that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to hear more about my opinions on game design philosophy, you can go check out this video. I talk a little bit about water-specific music in it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know all of your opinions down in the comments. Thanks for watching.